Hey everyone, Buddha Devi here. Now, I hate watching myself into the video when I'm talking like this. So I always talk um, on the bias a little bit. So don't be wigged out about that. But I wanted to talk to you about why the Muladhara, working with the mudras and the sacred geometry. And we're going to continue doing that throughout the centers. The rest of the centers, we're going to work with the specific mudras, the primary mudras for these centers, and also the symbols, the symbolic geometry. And I wanted to sort of bring a little bit of the context of why I'm working with these aspects with the technology. What is actually the technology around this? So if I can liken this, if you think about our own cells, that when we are in form, or we have to have polarity to be in form. So because in between those polarities is the vibration, the sort of the tension that holds these particulars, these sequences in a particular vibration that then translates to a sequence, and then translates to an actual shape, a form, and then a function. And so we are made up of all of that. So when a cell, we are here to offer ourselves over and over and over again. So we are here to polarize. We are a polarity. So we are here to polarize. When we think about our cells, they are always in cell division. They're dividing. And so are we. We're always creating. If we're not creating actual life form, another human being, we are creating other things, ideas, concepts, inventing new technology or ways of life. So we are creators, and we do that by replicating ourselves, so to speak, in sort of the highest form. And so the cells do the same, and that's fine. But what happens is when we forget why we are dividing and who we are dividing for, what we are in service of. When we forget, when the cells forget why they are replicating, because they're sustaining life itself, existence itself, through this biology, through this, right? This living being, this human body, right? So if they forget, which happens sometimes, then a cell goes on to do its own thing. It's kind of like starch. I'm going to make these kind of tissues. I'm going to divide these cells this way, because it's always creating, right? But when it forgets what it's creating for, that's when it becomes in trouble. That's when we have disease. And it's the same with us. It's the same with us. When we forget what we are serving and who we are serving, that's the problem. So the division, the polarity, not only what we say, the positive and negative, the yin and yang, the masculine and the feminine within us, that we hold together in unity, but when parts of that becomes expressed as in form, as I am in a female body and I am organized and oriented in she, her, hers, to do the nouns, right? So there is a way how this unity comes out, how I express this, how I create through this unity. So masculine and feminine is the natural polarities in life existence. And the only problem when we talk about the patriarch, we talk about the matriarch, in our collective consciousness, the patriarchal consciousness that is here, the reason why it's getting so much flack and pressure and is because it has forgotten who it's serving. The masculine has forgotten who it's serving and what it is serving. And it's life, its existence, itself, right? That is governed by the qualities of the heart, the pulsation of life, the qualities of the heart. And when we forget that, it becomes then adulterated expression. And when the patriarch and the matriarch, the masculine and the feminine forgets and becomes separated from its own alignment in that heart space, in the heart-oriented space of existence, that is all inclusivity, all acceptance, right? And it is about cause, always going back to its cause, right? So that you don't forget. Know what started the movement and why the movement started, so that we remember, right? That's why we have, what's your vision? What's your vision? What's your company's vision? What's your family's vision? What's your goals? I mean, we talk about it all the time. Because when an individual cell forgets what the vision is, what the goal is, why it is doing what it is doing, and when we as a person forgets what we are doing and why we are doing it, that's where that's the separation, that's become this sort of disharmony, dis-ease in life, right? So when we are not serving life itself, meaning all existence, all inclusivity, like all is life, everyone is welcomed here, the good and the bad and the ugly, through the compassionate place, having the compassionate place, meaning that we know that we are connected and that we are interdependent and we are hardwired for relation. We are hardwired for relation with all. And that's why we got in trouble during COVID. We were separated, we were isolated. And a lot of what we see now looks like mental health, looks like all kinds of diseases. And it all stems from not having its natural rhythm, our natural way of relating, which is hyper-relational. We are needed to be together, touch each other, see each other, taste each other, feel each other, be in each other's heart space. Because we cannot just through this technology by the mind touch each other unless we really know our own place of grounding, our own truth, that this is one way only, but that there is a superior way, and that's real human touch, right? That's real human touch. And it's a beautiful technology that we have here because we can reach many more people. But until we have evolved enough that we can bring our awareness and manifest in different places at the same time in form and touch each other, we are dealing with this. This is beautiful. This is what we have now. Okay, again, why the mudras? Why the symbology, right? Why am we doing that when we are clearing and activating the chakras? Again, memory. So everything that we are working on here in the descending practices here, all the things that are within us is what we are mobilizing. We're not taking out. So when I talk about the bija sounds, right? We are not taking something from outside of ourselves. These sounds, these frequencies are within us, and the sequence, putting these particular sounds together in a lam, we have them here. We have l, we have ah, we have m in us. When we put them together in lam, that becomes a memory. A memory, right? It opens up a memory, because that particular frequency is actually what makes that geometry, right? Sound, if we put sound under sand, we see something happening. We see a flower, or we see some kind of, shape or form. So this is the same thing, what we are doing here. We are bringing these beautiful technologies, we're awakening them within ourselves. So the mudras, the hand gestures that we are doing, is actually a way of communicating with our awareness, with our energy, with our breath. It helps to direct energy and breath in our bodies, so that we are bringing our awareness into these centers, because we are working with. And we are using the bijas, and we are using the visualizations, and we're using the sense of feeling these symbols, awakening these symbolic structures within us that are already there. Why? Because they're yantras. Like yantras is data, right? These symbols, this geometry, they are data. It's a form, because they are data. They're carrying data. And the data, what it is carrying is these inherent traits that we have in us. So this is why the practice is very simple but profound. If we understand the technology of our own being, our biology is the highest technology in the universe. When we talk about epigenetics, right, we've been discovering that for the last decades and so. But then there's this other movement around the genetics that we cannot see, because they have not been activated yet. And they are in form of the light codes. And they are around, right? They are around our inherent genome. And it's just about the sequence. It's all about the sequence. How to put these sequences together so it's expressed. And each and every one of us as an individual have our unique sequence for profound healing, creativity, and transformation. And these particular practices that I'm sharing are just one way how we can activate them and bring this forth in us, so that our being starts to remember who it's serving and why it's serving. It is serving our highest light as an individual, our soul. It is serving our soul's purpose to keep evolving in each lifetime, in each incarnation. And if you do not subscribe to that belief system, screw it. Just say, hey, if you notice that there's something more than just your personality, then perhaps it could be something like your soul, right? And perhaps if using these practices, if you explore these practices of sound and posture and intention, that there might be a shift here in perspective, internal perspective, and you might be able to activate these dormant traits within you that you're walking around with 24/7. And then be able to mobilize them and then integrate them. There's one thing to activate them, and there's another thing to integrate them into your everyday life and stabilize the integration, and then transform that aspect of you. When I say transform that aspect, we don't transform. We put the state, the condition, but your nature transforms itself, your nature. And this is a way that we can remind our being using the chakric body, that is the highest light system that we can, the physical light system that is directly connected to our core, to our nervous system, to our endocrine system. And the light of all the little hormones, the chemicals in the being, in our body, that has a huge effect on how we experience ourselves and the world. And that is a direct link to the chakric body. Actually, some will say that the endocrine system and the hormones is the extension, it's the direct extension of the chakric body, the movement in the body. So I'm going to continue sharing some of these very simple practices of working with the mudras, working with the symbols, the symbolic geometry within each and every chakra, which are these yantras, which are, think of it as data, right? This is the software. This is the new data. And that we're not bringing something new. We are awakening dormant, latent, suppressed, right, aspects of us. This is our potential. It's in us. So we're not bringing something from the outside in. We are actually waking something within us up so we can bring it out and manifest and create, because we are creators, right? So that's a little bit about why we work with these sounds, the bijas, why we work with the yantras, and why we work with the mudras, right? So much love here, so much love here.